Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 22nd through the 28th. And I hope, like me, you are starting to feel that spring is in the air, that we are about to get through this winter. If you're somewhere where you experience winter, if you're not, just know the rest of us are jealous of you if you're in a warm climate. But for those of us that go through winter, it's getting close to being spring and summer, more importantly. So anyway, during this week, we do have a waxing crescent moon. We bring that energy in from last week, and that's a time of heightened senses and buckling down and really getting to work on those things that we've started during the new moon. We then have our first interrupter of the cycle, which is the first quarter moon. That comes in on the 26th. And I see that as like a little mini full moon, almost like a little just touch of that kind of full moon energy where you're impulsive and patient. It's very hard to focus and get anything done. So that might just be for a couple of hours on the 26th, and keep that in mind and kind of plan your day accordingly. If you need to meditate through that, or see that as a challenge, because that's where we can kind of learn to get over what our impulses are telling us to do and push through that. It's just a little gift that we get, but keep that in mind. We then move into the waxing gibbous energy, and of course that's back to work. Also a good time for us to show that we can be flexible when it comes to putting those projects together, and that we can make little changes as needed. So keep those moon energies in mind, of course, as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Capricorn. So as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message this week, Capricorn, is a time for healing. Okay, let's see what the Capricorn Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling the tarot cards, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you keep a spiritual journal. So oftentimes we forget things maybe that we're learning in the spiritual realm. This could be synchronicities that we're having, or dreams that we're having that, sometimes dreams don't really make sense. And when you journal those and go back later, you're like, oh, I had that dream and this thing happened, and now that makes so much more sense to me. And it teaches you to really understand your own personal dream language. I know there are books out there like, dream interpret. In fact, I have one, the dream interpretation book, and I've tried to use that, and it's never worked for me. I feel like each of our dreamscapes are so personal to us, but it kind of teaches you about that, and keeping a journal of those things otherwise you're going to forget them. So anyway, that's my fun weekly reminder for you, is keep a journal so that you can look back on it and use it to your own good later. Okay, I'll stop babbling now. Let's get into this reading. Capricorn, March 22nd through the 28th, a time for healing. Your present energy right now is, oh, well, look at you. If it's a time for healing, you're doing it in the best of energy and the best of people around you to do so. This is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So, if you're healing something, this may be a signifier for you to heal it through family. Sometimes if we're going through something personal, you just want to be around those people that you love the most, and that know you the best. So a good time for you to be around family right now. Your current situation is that you are a little bit disappointed here with the Four of Cups. Whatever the universe is offering you, you're just not real thrilled about it. And that is when you go to family and you go, oh, listen, life's kind of frustrating right now. I wanted this thing to happen and that thing happened, and da-da-da. Sometimes when you're in it, it's very hard to see those lessons that the universe is trying to teach you. Believe me. I, I have someone in my life that I try to tell this to over and over and over, and it's just, you just can't explain it until someone gets it. But anyway, suffice to say, when the universe is offering you something that you don't want, really the thing to do is you have to kind of stop and go, why does it keep offering me this thing over and over? And if there is some lesson in there that needs to be learned, I assure you, once you learn that lesson, it gets stopped. You don't have that offering anymore. Something else comes along, and it maybe is more positive, but what is the lesson? And that's kind of hard to see, especially if you're frustrated and in it. So make sure you're opening your eyes to maybe look a little deeper into what is going on there. At the root of your situation is the Ace of Wands. So some new passion is coming in for you. And this is usually a very big yes. So maybe, and look at this hand, looks very much like the hand that's coming in off the cup, right? New passion, new emotion, new something, new, feeling a little, what I don't really like, whatever that is. What is it? Is there something that the universe is offering you that you're not able to see clearly yet? So very interesting there, Capricorn. And again, if it's a time for healing, it might just be that you're a little frustrated about the things that you're being offered. A lot of times, if you have a bigger goal in mind, the thing being offered is maybe a step towards something that you're trying to manifest that's bigger, and saying no to it is um it's almost like it's a first step. It's not the final step, but it's the first step towards something. So sometimes you need to kind of think of things that way too. And I'm trying to think of an example. This would be like, look back on maybe, I mean, for me, it would be how I met my spouse. That we met in college, but we were both from two different states. The things that had to happen and the different schools that we applied to, and I mean, it was just the whole thing. When you look back at the path, it's like, it is just amazing that we landed in front of each other, because had one of us just taken one slight different step or said no to a certain step, we wouldn't have met. We just wouldn't have been in that place together, right? So it's kind of like, those serendipitous things where sometimes you just do have to say yes to a thing, because it might lead to something different and might lead you to a person that you need to know, or a thing that you need to experience. So, look at what the universe is offering you, Capricorn. And that's in a long-winded way. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So, in your recent past, here is the Chariot card. So, you have been wanting to make some sort of move. You've been wanting to make a big change on something, and yeah, you're just not really happy with what it is. Again, confide in family, and it could be too that you're trying to do something for the happiness of your family, which is of course commendable, but make sure that you know what you're saying no to when you say no to things that the universe is bringing into you, because again, it could just be a stepping stone. It might not be the final step, but it could be a first step. All right, what is on your mind this week is the King of Pentacles. So on your mind is maybe something here about really your knowledge of finance in the material world. This could be that your dream is to buy a home for your family. This is just an example. You want to make a move, you do all the research, you have the knowledge under your belt, and the only things being offered you're just not that thrilled with. Keep at it. Just keep at it. All you have to do is just keep thinking of your ultimate dream. And again, maybe you're looking at houses that maybe you're not looking at houses that you should just go ahead and look at. Maybe it's just good to get out there. Again, maybe looking at one house leads you to see a sign for a house that your realtor didn't offer to you. And that's what I'm saying about saying yes to the little certain things that might lead you to something bigger that you're not even aware of. Okay, I'll stop talking about that. What is just ahead of you this week is, look, the Wheel of Fortune. This is things that turn on a dime. And when your world just goes doop, and there's the thing, right? There's something incredible in front of you. It's about, having an opportunity that just kind of pops out. This is things that do evolve into something. And again, saying yes to something small might lead to something bigger that comes right in front of you. In your advice position is to hold on to your financial stability here as you're going through this. And this tells me that we also have two fours on the table. I want you to look up angel number 44 and see what that says. It's a number I'm very familiar with. This is about your stability, and the advice is just hold on, maintain your stability. Don't be so disappointed. And again, things may happen that you don't even know how they happen. What is beyond your control this week is the Knight of Pentacles. Some more Pentacles here in action on that front. So again, the Pentacles are about money and the material world. So I was using real estate as an example, but that actually could be a thing for you. So that is beyond your control to take some sort of action. And that could be, again, maybe this week, this house shows up and you decide to put in an offer, right? That would be the how I would read the cards in that situation. What is your secret desire and what are you trying to avoid is the Six of Wands. And that is about recognition, and it's about people around you going, good job, you've done a good thing here. This would be probably your family, friends and family around you. Look at you. I'm very proud of you. You moved forward and you put an offer in on this house that you ran into when you didn't even think that that was the house that how that story goes. So that's great. So that's either your secret desire is to kind of feel that sense of pride and getting that little pat on the back, or you're trying to avoid it altogether. That'll be a question for you to answer for yourself. And it'll be different for different Capricorns. All right. In your outcome position is look 7 of swords. So this is kind of in this position. I feel like this card is about kind of keeping your poker face. And when you're doing, if it is kind of a real estate deal or something having to do with money, sometimes you don't want to give all the information. So imagine this is you and you have 7 thoughts and ideas about, and we'll just go ahead and use this real estate about this house. You have 7 thoughts and ideas that are positive, and maybe you only put down 2 things, right? You don't want to, you want to keep your poker face about it. Maybe you're very excited. You're like, I can't believe this house is perfect and what we want, but you want to make sure that you're also getting the best deal. So when you act overexcited, they're going to think that you're going to offer them more money than you really want to. So keep your poker face there, Capricorn. I don't think that's a problem for you. You guys are pretty unforgiving when it comes to business transactions, right? What is hidden from you at the bottom of the deck here is being done with something. So this is not done for you, that you're in the process of this, whatever this thing is. Again, we've got some emotions about it. Are you doing this to make your family happier? Could be. There's your little house on the hill. Hold your poker face about it. You've learned so much. You're the king of this. You've done your research. You've done the ins and outs on the market, whatever's going on with it. Keep your poker face, but again, I want you to remember that things can turn on a dime, and sometimes saying yes to this passionate thing that comes into you when it seems like a disappointment, sometimes it's the first step in this wheel of fortune turning. So keep that in mind. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck for you. Final message for Capricorn as I'm trying to think of how I would sum this up for you. I think sometimes you just have to say yes to something you're not sure about. Capricorns, you guys tend to be very goal oriented, and you might be thinking this has nothing to do with my goal, but maybe it does. All right. Final words for you from the Soul Oracle deck, Capricorn, is to look forward. Interesting. Look forward, look around, see what's going on around you. It might be more than you think. What you need to do in the way of self-care as you're doing this week. And again, this is time for healing. So you might be healing from some disappointment in this realm anyway. Of course, it doesn't have to be real estate. I'm just using that as an example. But and maybe this is part of the healing, is the universe kind of like, hey, let me offer you this, and let's move along here. All right. Let's see. Self-care for you this week. And the card that you get is the card called Calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. Wow. So maybe you are healing from something, and maybe this is your breakthrough. Whatever this universe is bringing to you that doesn't seem like it's what you asked for. Maybe take a second look at it. So Capricorn, thank you so much for being here. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in your life in a positive way this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment and let me know. Did this resonate with you on somehow? Or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week. And I think that's pretty cool. It helps me out, and hopefully it helps you out too. So thanks so much, Capricorn. Good luck with this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.